So, is a high vibration and a positive mood actually needed to manifest anything? Now, I don't know about you, but everywhere I go, I seem to see people talking about raising your vibrational frequency and raising your positive vibe and getting into a positive mood to be able to manifest. And I feel like this just causes a lot of confusion. And over the years, I have had a lot of questions when it comes to vibrations and emotions and mood in terms of manifestation, and you might be the same. So I decided to end the confusion once and for all by answering all of the questions that I could possibly think of when it comes to this topic. My name is Kath Kyle and I lead the Hustle Less, Manifest More movement, and I help change makers and creators to manifest their dream businesses. So let's get started with the first question. Let's start with the basics. What actually is a vibration? Did you know that every single thing in the universe is constantly moving? Even things like this board that look like they are static, they're actually constantly be moving. And this has been proven by science. So another word to say moving is vibrating. So everything in this world is vibrating, and it's not just physical things that we can see and touch that are moving constantly and vibrating. It's everything. 99.9% of all matter that we can see and we can touch is actually made up of energy. Everything can be broken down into energy, and energy is constantly moving and vibrating. And it's not just physical things that are energy, it's our thoughts, our emotions, our belief system, everything that makes up this universe, including us, our bodies, our thoughts, everything is energy, which is all moving and vibrating. So now that we know what actually is a vibration according to a scientific definition, now what we're going to look at is what is a high vibration or a high vibe or a high frequency, which can all be interchanged. Now, in these spiritual communities, people talk about having a high vibration, and they're not really talking about everything moving, although people do often interchange the two, which is why the confusion lies. When people talk about a high vibration in the spiritual communities, they're often referring to emotion or mood. They're not necessarily referring to the fact that everything is constantly moving, although sometimes they use this as a basis to justify the high vibration that they're actually talking about. But we're going to see that the two are actually not all that related, and this is why we've got this confusion. So when people in the spiritual communities are talking about high vibration, they are saying that what they are actually saying is a high vibration is a positive emotional state. Now, there is a chart, an emotional chart that you might have come across if you Google emotional state chart or emotional state image, then you will see these in Google Images and have a look at them. And what you'll see is at the bottom of the chart are the negative emotions, the so-called negative emotions like fear and anger. And then all of a sudden you've got a separation, and then you've got the top of the scale, which is the positive emotions. And at the top of the scale, you've got things like joy and gratitude and love and peace and all this kind of thing. So they are all deemed to be the positive emotions, and all of the emotions at the bottom of the scale are deemed to be the negative emotions. Now, the first problem with all of these scales is if you look at all the different scales, everybody has a different opinion as to where these things lie on the scale. Some people put joy at the top of the chart, some people put gratitude at the top, some people put love at the top, and some people put peace at the top. Nobody can actually agree. And if you can't agree on the principles, then that means that this is subject to opinion. It's only opinion that has created these charts. And when something is created by opinion, it means that it's going to be very difficult to scientifically prove this one way or another. So this is based on opinion. So that's the first problem with these charts. And the second problem with these charts is that it is assuming that all of the emotions at the top of the scale are all good and all of the emotions at the bottom of the scale are all bad. And when you deem something as good or bad, then this means that we want to avoid all of the bad things, because if you start experiencing so-called bad emotions like anger or sadness, then you will feel like you are a bad person and you'll start to label yourself as a bad person. And you will always be striving to be a good person by experiencing the so-called good emotions at the top of the scale. So this again is subjective, because somebody has decided that it's bad. It makes you a bad person if you are experiencing the negative emotion, but a good person if you are experiencing the good emotion. But what we need to remember is that as humans, we have been given all of the emotions for a reason. If we weren't supposed to feel all of the emotions, we wouldn't be given them. It's very appropriate to feel negative emotions at certain times. And also, as humans, we have something called contrast. If you don't experience unhappiness, you never know what it's like to experience happiness. So that's why it's absolutely essential that we do experience both of the so-called negative and so-called positive emotions. So that's the issue that I've got with the emotional scale, because what this does to people is that they get worked up into a state and think that I'm a bad person because I'm experiencing the bad emotion, and therefore I can't manifest anything because I've been told by these teachers that I can only manifest by getting myself into a high vibe state. And that's what we're going to be looking at and addressing further now. Another question that we need to ask ourselves is, do emotions, thoughts, and beliefs actually vibrate? And this hasn't actually been proven by science that they do vibrate. However, we know from science that everything vibrates, and therefore we can assume that because emotions, thoughts, and beliefs are part of everything, that they do actually vibrate. Emotions can be caused by thoughts, and thoughts can come as a result of emotions. But it is beliefs that we need to be concerned about when we are looking at manifestation. So the next question is, do positive vibrations move faster than negative vibrations? And this is something that has not been proven by science and could probably never be proven by science, because again, this is subjective as to what is a good vibration and what's a bad vibration. So we can't measure something with science when we can't agree on what we're actually measuring. So for somebody to say that positive vibrations move faster than negative vibrations, the answer is no. We can't prove that. It can't be measured. It's always subjective. We can never say that for a fact, because we might think that it's a good emotion to have sadness when somebody has died, and that's highly appropriate. We don't want to ever label these emotions as wrong or bad, and therefore we can't label them as positive or negative, because they're just appropriate for the situation, and they just give us indications on what our belief systems are. They're neither positive nor negative, they just simply are. And another problem with labeling positive vibrations as faster or higher than negative vibrations is that faster or higher when it comes to vibrations doesn't necessarily mean better. And you can just look at other things that we can measure in science to determine this reasoning. So for example, when you are looking at light, red light has the lowest frequency and violet light has the highest frequency. And does that mean that red light is bad and violet light is good because of the speed that it vibrates at? No, it doesn't. It's just different. And if you look at the different levels of radiation, the more radiation we have, the more dangerous it is for us. So more on this level doesn't mean better either. And it's also been discovered that the human body vibrates at 7.5 hertz, around 7.5 hertz. And when your frequency drops to around about 5 hertz, then you can become sick. But again, you don't want your frequency of your body to get too high, because that's not what we want either. And interestingly, the human body vibrates at pretty much the same level as the Earth. The human body goes up and down, but the frequency of the Earth is 7.83 hertz, which is also known as the Schumann resonance. Interestingly as well, the 7.83 hertz is also the frequency of the brain waves when your brain waves are in a theta state. And that is the state in which it is much easier to manifest at. So that just shows you that you want your brainwaves and your body to be at exactly the right level. You don't want it to be too high. It's not that more, higher, better is faster is better. It just means that we want to be vibrating at exactly the right level. Not too low, not too high, exactly the right level. Next question, do manifestations actually come from vibrations in the first place? So if we look at manifestations, manifestations come from beliefs, beliefs have vibrations. So we could say that manifestations do come from vibrations, but do they come from high vibrations? The answer is yes, they do come from vibrations, but they don't come from high vibrations. So the next question, do we need to be at a high vibration to manifest? So let's have a look at that in a bit more detail. We have just determined that no, we do not need the thoughts to be at a high vibration to manifest. But that is a different question from, do we need a positive mood to manifest? So high vibration is completely different from positive mood. So do we need to be in a good mood to manifest? So one thing we need to remember when we're answering this question is to manifest means we can manifest good things, so-called good things that we deem to be good, and we can manifest so-called bad things. Everything that happens in our reality is a manifestation. We are constantly manifesting 24/7. We can't stop it and we can't turn it off. Whether we believe in manifestation or not, we're always manifesting something. Whether it's something we desire or something we don't desire, we are constantly manifesting. So do we need a positive mood to manifest? Well, the answer is it's got to be no, because we know that we are constantly manifesting things all the time, whether or not we are in a good mood or a bad mood. Say, for example, you wake up in a bad mood. Are you going to manifest anything? Yes, you're going to manifest things. People might say you're more likely to manifest bad things, and that's because if you wake up in a grumpy mood, the thoughts that come into your head might be of a belief system that I am having a bad day today. And when you believe that you are having a bad day today and you label the entire day as a bad day, then you are naturally going to see bad things. You're going to manifest bad things. So we do manifest bad things if we believe that we are in a bad mood. And it's not because we are in a bad mood, it is because we have a belief system that dictates to us that when I am in a bad mood, bad things happen to me. And that's because of evidence that we've seen and a belief system that we formed. It's not because it's not the law that you have to manifest bad things when you're in a bad mood. It's just that that is what the belief system has already told us. Next question, can we manifest good things when we are in a bad mood? A lot of people would say no, that's not possible, but let's have a look at some examples. have you ever been in a supposedly bad mood? Like, for example, you might have been crying, which would be low down on the emotional scale, a negative, a bad emotion when you're crying, when you're upset and you're experiencing sadness. And have you ever had somebody comfort you and tell you it's okay, I'm here for you, what do you need, what help do you need? That comfort is got to be a positive manifestation, and that's come from your bad mood, your bad emotion, supposedly. So that is one example. Have you ever been in an angry mood? Have you ever been talking on the phone to customer services? Maybe you've been overcharged on one of your bills, and your desired outcome, your positive manifestation that you want to happen as a result of this, is you want them to give you a refund for the amount of money that you've been overcharged. And have you ever been in a very grumpy mood, moaning at somebody on the phone, and they've said, yes, okay, I'm going to refund you the amount, I'm going to give you what you want, I'm going to give you your desires, and therefore you've had a positive manifestation. So they're just two examples that you can probably think of in your own life where you have manifested something positive from being in a bad mood. And also, have you noticed, you might know of wealthy people, people who are very rich, or people who are very lucky and they always seem to have good things happening to them, but yet you deem them as a negative person. You see that they are constantly moaning. Maybe they're always treating people badly and being in an angry mood with people. And you think to yourself, how is it possible that that person deserves to have these positive manifestations happening to them when they are such a horrible person, when they are in such a bad mood? That's just another example, and that's because these things don't come from our mood. Our manifestations don't come from our mood. They don't come from how we are acting in the moment. They come from our inner belief systems. So the answer to that is yes, you can manifest good things in a bad mood. Next question, do vibrations lead to manifestation? So the ultimate question is, do things vibrating lead to manifestations? And do vibrations actually influence manifestation? So we know that everything is vibrating. So how does manifestation actually occur? It comes from your belief system, and your belief system, it does send out vibrations, but that's really too simplistic. We don't want to say that manifestation is caused by vibration, because everything is caused by vibration. Vibration does cause everything, but that's not the real reason. It's like saying we are alive because we breathe air. That's not the only reason that we are alive. That's just one reason why our human body is alive, but it's not the only reason. So yes, in a simplistic world, manifestation is caused by vibration, but I don't see the point in going on and on and on about vibrations being linked to manifestation, because that doesn't really help anybody. It just causes confusion. It doesn't help anybody to actually be able to manifest anything and actually be able to improve the world as a whole and manifest more positive things into the world. What we want to do is we want to get clearer when we are describing our terminology so that we can really help people. Talking about raising your vibrations all the time is really not helpful in my view when it comes to actually helping people get what they desire. What it actually takes to manifest your results is a change in your belief system. So we need to get away from this terminology of vibration and talk about what actually causes manifestation. And science has proven that we all see a different reality based on what we believe. That has been scientifically proven. And so we just need to be able to see the reality in our heads so that we believe in the new reality that we want. So really, it's as simple as that. It's just about imagining what you want so that you change your belief system. So how do you go about imagining what you want. And there are various different techniques that can help you to imagine in different ways. But basically, it's just daydreaming. We can all do daydreaming. It's just daydreaming what we actually want. I've got a very specific technique, but you don't need to make it more complicated than just simply imagining what you want, the reality that you want. But I like to use a technique called creating a reverse memory, which means you create the event that you want to manifest in your imagination first, and then you see the event actually manifesting in your reality. And I have a complete guide on creating reverse memories, and you can get that for free by going to kathkyle.com/reverse memories. And I would also like to invite you to join my business manifestation club, where we go through different manifestation techniques every month to manifest results in our businesses. And you can join us by going to kathkyle.com/club. I would love to know what you thought about this principle that we do not need to be at a high vibration or a positive mood to manifest. What are your thoughts on that topic? Let me know. Leave me a comment. You can leave me a comment on Instagram. You can DM me at kathkyleofficial. You can leave a comment on my YouTube or on my blog, because I have a blog on this same topic if you want to look in depth even more into what I've described here today. You can click the link surrounding this content piece and go and read the blog, which goes into even more detail, and then you can get the links that I've described to the free guide on how to manifest using reverse memories. So leave me a comment if you're on YouTube, like this video, as it really helps other people to find this. I want to clear up the confusion when it comes to vibrational frequencies and just get back to the basics, which is just to imagine what we want, and that will manifest. Have a great day, and now it's your turn to go and put your stamp on the world.